Hello, hello, beautiful people of the internet. Hello, Plaguebird, Despotsini, Ryanok, Casario, Curseword, Mastermaticus, Slice the Elder, Swole Irish Dude, Tygic, or Tygic, I guess I don't know how to pronounce that. Broad Metalluck 2, Casario, Choppy Cat, Apples and Fruits, Xylin 64, hello, hello, Choppy Cat, hello, I already said Choppy Cat. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome one and all. I apologize for starting things out in emote-only mode. Psycho Ling, welcome, welcome. I know that technically VIPs can get past the emote-only restriction. I used to give out VIP access like candy as a method to share links and not have it get in the way of the bots. Are you winning, son? I'm crashing to sleep? Well, we'll see. But for those who are VIPs, I understand you have the capability of bypassing the emote-only mode, but I request that you stick to it. So I think, if my understanding is correct, while previously, hold on, I guess the narrator's going to speak here in just a moment. We don't want to interrupt him. This seems like, you know.
At last, the twisted heart of the world is laid bare, for sword or supplication.
Pretty dramatic. The twisted heart of the world. The beating heart of the spire, the darkest dungeon. So, I mean, I think, if my understanding is correct, we've made our first, second, third assaults on the darkest dungeon, which leaves only the final assault on the darkest dungeon. Kill one, Heart of Darkness. Well, before I ended the stream last time, I just threw a team into into the lineup. I don't know that this is actually what we'll do, but I guess the only thing I could, well, okay, all right. So let's back up. We're gonna do a little bit of thinking, a little bit of calculating, a little bit of plotting and planning, scheming. But we're gonna start with a sort of overview of what we've seen previously to maybe help inform the future. That's the idea. So we have, in our first three attempts, well, first three successful journeys into the darkest dungeon. In the first one, we faced the Shuffling Horror, an eldritch beast that, otherwise, I guess this was a pretty normal dungeon. Enemies did a lot more stress damage to us. My hypothesis of our torch being messed with has been true in literally none of these. Maybe this final one. But otherwise, the first one was a fairly normal dungeon. The second one, where we fought the Templar Warlord and Impaler, we had a sort of version of one of the quests that we'd done previously, where we're just activating 3 specific curios. We had special trinkets that we were given so that we could protect ourselves from their fancy attacks, though their attacks weren't that bad. Revelation, yeah, Revelation. It wasn't that bad, even if it hit us. I didn't think. I almost wonder if you'd be fine just not equipping them at all. Maybe they're still worth it. I mean, I don't know. It's the hardest fight there, but there was another dungeon of stress attacks, and I don't know. It also seemed fine, realistically, not that difficult, all things considered. And then the third trip into the dungeon, God, that one was, I would say, certainly the most not only challenging, but mentally challenging, where it was a oh, what was the word they used to classify it? They gave us, it wasn't short, medium, and long. What was the word they used to describe it? Whatever word it was the longest dungeon we had seen thus far, given more campsites than we'd ever been given. And boy, we sure used them all. And the mammoth cysts, boy, that was tough. The only common thread, and also like that dungeon featured like, you know, literally teleporting us around, finding a specific floor in the dungeon, which as soon as we started getting teleported and then we were getting shot around the corners, it felt like, anyone ever play the game Gauntlet? Especially the old school NES Gauntlet? It felt like some of those treasure rooms or the clue rooms where you'd enter a teleporter and it's fling you all over the map, but never into where you actually wanted, which was probably in the center. Anyway, it felt a little bit like that. So we ended up finally making our way there. The only commonality, and despite all sorts of scheming and theorizing and whatever I've had, which I've had a lot and they've pretty much all been wrong, every single enemy, every single one, Eldritch. That's the only common thing. So we're faced at a bit of a crossroads, a bit of a decision point. Right now, here, I'm gonna remove these. Pass Slurgi, you're drunk, go home. If we look at the available brothers and sisters for this journey that will actually go, because apparently once was enough, we have only 5 choices. Misha Twitcher, Blue Borgigan, Despotzini, Sue Sage, and Fennec Phoenix. We could level up like some new recruits. My current thought is as follows. Our previous trips into the dungeon have been successful. We have not had anyone die, knock on wood, in the darkest dungeons, right? So we're at 7 of 12. Even if we have a trip that goes completely south, we end up at 11 out of 12. Which then doesn't leave us with any breathing room, right, if we go back. But if we fail, that should be fine as long as we extremely carefully level up, right? So I feel like we can go in. There are a lot of emote reactions. We can go in, at least in an initial attempt. And even if it maybe starts to go poorly and we realize we have to escape and give ourselves more so I don't want to just fight to the death, right? Till 4. All 4 people dying. If things start to go poorly and we escape, so for example, 1 unit dies and then we run, and I'm assuming, we haven't seen it yet, but it did actually warn us, and actually I think it will again. If you run, you lose someone. So then we'll be at 9 of 12. That's fine, right? So that would be another hypothetical. So I feel like it should be fine to try to assemble a team that can at least let us know what we need. The other alternative would be that if I believe that the final enemy will be an Eldritch enemy, we could try to bring a squad that specifically, we don't have any hates Eldritch quirks, I don't think, but that would be a interesting prospect. Or even the occultist, right, is a bunch of anti-Eldritch stuff. But I feel like that's a lot of leveling for not a ton of benefit, probably. Oh man, Ultros, Technaner, those are great emotes. Whoever the streamer Cox is, COX, golf clap to you. I also do think, as a side note, I had an original way back when hypothesis that the Darkest Dungeon would emulate the different like zones of the game, which of course ended up not being true. Just scratch that entirely. We'll pretend I never said that. However, this does say kill one heart of darkness. The heart might also be a human. Like and you know, maybe the heart of darkness is like a euphemism for the narrator who's sitting there chilling, and it's a human, and you have to stab him in the heart or something. I don't know, but that's what I originally theorized. But I guess that's probably not true. But in any case, whatever it is, I guess we'll kill it. So thinking about like the potential for a squad like this, I do think we have all the tools we need, right? So I think it has been super important to have a stress healer, to have a regular healer, like an HP healer, and then 2 other things of DPS or whatever. So far, it has remained true that de-stealthing is completely and utterly useless. We don't really have great options for that here anyway, so whatever. The ability to fight from any position has been relevant against basically every single enemy. Every single enemy we have faced has had some form of shuffling or pushing ability. Interestingly enough, the Mammoth Cyst, the White Cell Stock from the previous dungeon had some sort of skill that would like, I'd see the little icon for move resist. We resisted it literally every single time. Not once did we get pushed. Not once. I don't know if it has just like a shitty chance or we got really lucky. Or maybe I missed it, and maybe it did happen once, but it sure didn't feel like it happened at all. I don't think it did. In any case, every single zone has challenged us in regards to where we can attack from. So I think when we build our final squad here, we're at least going to consider that as like a primary important thing. And I guess we'll work out who we want to bring. So we've got a stress healer, regular healer, and then we just find 2 more units. So the leper is probably the least flexible in regards to attacking from all locations. So Fennec Phoenix, I think, is going to get left behind. I think this is what I outlined initially as like a potential squad. The Bounty Hunter does have abilities that it can do from everywhere. So, I mean, I don't know. I think like this squad could be it. If the Hellion gets out of position, we can maybe equip Breakthrough. This does seem like a okay squad. We don't need to worry about camping skills at all, because we're apparently not going to... This quest does not involve camping. The units are already fully upgraded, at least as far as their equipment's concerned. I could maybe consider doing some grinding to bring a different squad, but I mean, I don't know. These are pretty good classes that I do like. They've got good quirks. I think I'm just gonna go for it. And then we figure out if it works. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't, I guess. So I guess if this is the squad, we'll make sure that they're leveled up. Maybe I should grab this level 3 occultist just in case.
One must know it.
Eagledub, welcome. You may get nothing more than a name. And I guess we don't need another leper, because that's like our other option. Okay. So they're fully upgraded here. As far as skills are concerned, actually, these I think are relevant. Now, am I going to have enough money to upgrade these units fully? I should make sure that that's the case. I guess I think I just will, right? So I guess that's the other thing to consider too, is positioning. So Hellion in front, sure. We'll probably end up equipping Iron Swan. I mean, I could even see doing Iron Swan if it bleeds and bleed out, and we can hit literally all positions. And then just the Yop, because stunning is good. That means we wouldn't have Adrenaline Rush. Also, the nice thing is, I think one of the things that I have not been doing, that I should have been doing from the beginning, is like literally taking some of these things at their word. We're killing one heart of darkness. You know what hearts are vulnerable to? Bleeding. The whole point of a heart is blood. Things that do bleeding damage, that feels relevant to me. I don't know about you. So like, bleeding attacks seem good. Probably. I've got to think that that's true. Although maybe I should equip... Now that I say that, maybe I should equip Breakthrough just so we're... I mean, we can maybe adjust, right? But I think I'm going to level up all skills. And we're going to be ready in case there's enemies that shuffle us. I mean, I doubt it'll happen from like the hallway fights or whatever. And we can move around too, right? But regardless, I think this setup is probably fine. If we're looking at the Bounty Hunter here, then I like that we can attack from the 3rd rank versus, or like with Finish Him. I like that Collect Bounty does extra damage to humans because hearts are human. Hearts are human. Marking a target doesn't feel super important. The pulling maybe is nice, but I almost want to do like Caltrops just to make sure we can hit all positions and hit from all positions. I haven't really used this much, but you know, it does make the enemy bleed, and well, as previously discussed, we like it when they bleed. So then looking at Despotsini, maybe instead of solo, we just have Dirk Stab, but we can do from anywhere. Finale, of course, because who doesn't like ending things with a good finale? Slice Off, because it's bleed. And Inspiring Tune. Now, of course, there's going to be like hallway fights and stuff on the way, right? So I'm thinking of this in terms of like what's good against the boss fight and assuming we'll be able to get there, basically. And making sure we're like fully equipped for that. So that does mean that like if I do want to go with Slice Off, then we do need to have the Jester in the 3rd position, which means we need to have the Bounty Hunter in the 2nd position. Like he could be bounty hunting from the back, but that doesn't seem as good. You know, we could do Vestal in the 2nd rank with our fancy Sacred Scroll. Or excuse me. Oh, do I need to unequip? I still need to unequip trinkets, right? Yeah, I do. Profane Scroll, rather. However, I'm still happy to just heal from the back. I think that's okay. We can go with a different, right? We can do backline stuff. The nice thing about the backline is that we've got the ability to judge. Judged. So we can judge the enemies. And we like judging. We like being judgmental. So I think backline Vestal is fine. And like, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Like I don't know what other sort of prep I would think I would want. So I guess let's make sure to level up all these abilities. Now, do I have enough money? I don't think we'll need to bother with Flashbang. Certainly want to level up this. We certainly want to level up probably these. I mean, I think I should have enough money. Obviously, we need to make sure we've got enough money for a full set of supplies. I don't think we're gonna need Hand of Light, right? I guess the final boss could just be Unholy, and then maybe we care about this. That feels unlikely. These feel more important. Whoa, those guys just glitched out too. Whoa. Okay, and I think fully buying stuff is like around 5,000. So maybe I should stop there. We can always sell stuff too. We can always sell stuff. Which maybe I just... Huh. Yeah, I mean, you know what? We don't need a second focus ring. We're really never going to use 2 of those. Selling some of this stuff is fine. Could sell this Talisman of the Flame, but it won't let us. Otherwise, I feel too attached to all the rest of these trinkets. I wish we could bring more trinkets, like put them in our inventory to like swap out depending on what we need. That would be cute. So then we do have more. I could just sell trinkets to fully upgrade everyone. Just to like do it. I'm never going to equip this thing, right? Probably not. We've got better flagellant stuff. Do we think the heart will be big and markable? Weirdly, marks have been like kind of bad against bosses. I like want to sell this because it's so expensive, but what if the very specific things that help us succeed are like debuff and blight resist? That feels so unlikely. No, I can't bring myself to sell stuff. They all feel too precious. Oh, we can sell that. I mean, what am I doing it for? So that we can go in fully upgraded and fully prepared. That's why. We'll sell one more thing if we need the money. 'Cause we can. 'Cause we can. We can and we will. Boy, do I want to equip this? Oh, I didn't even think about that. We'll sell this. We don't need this Crusader thing anymore. There, that'll give us enough money. All right, that may have been stupid and pointless, but... so then, all right, let's look at the provision screen. Yes. Yeah, so this is the same as previously. Okay, normal provision screen. All right, nothing weird or fancy or whatever. Let's work out what we want to have equipped. What do we want to have equipped? So for starters, let's look at the class-specific ones. I don't like the idea of reducing our stun chance. So... I don't really want to equip the Sacred Scroll. We're not going to be in position 2. So I guess just Tome of Holy Healing and then something defensive. Maybe just the Overture box. Let's see. We don't have anything that increases our accuracy. And there have been a lot of very evasive enemies. I might still just go with the tough ring here. Either tough ring or overture box. We'll just go with the tough ring. And then on our Jester, let's see, we've got Dirge for the Devoured, and there's no reason we can't still just like purchase Laudanum, right? Yeah. So go with this fancy thing, and then Ancestor's Pen. It's pretty good. It's just more damage, more crit. More damage, more crits. Those things are good. Looking at our bounty hunter. So actually, so as a side note, one of the things we ran into as a problem in the previous Darkest Dungeon adventure when fighting the Mammoth Cyst was mostly like, I was gonna say a damage problem, but I guess it was almost a perceived damage problem because I started treating it as a damage race, not realizing that the damage that we had put on the enemy persisted. Just because the number of times we fought that boss before we fought the same instance of him was many. I don't know. So I am worried that like the heart cauterizes or heals and we just don't have enough damage. So I don't want to go too defensive, I guess is what I'm getting at. Bounty Hunter, I feel like, I mean, I could get this Wounding Helmet. It would decrease, I mean, it would make us want to not use the uppercut ability, but, and we may want to do Mark for Death in case the enemy has protection, right? But just like damage, maybe is good. More food consumed? I think we don't care. This feels spooky. Actually, also, one random side note. You know what we don't have on this squad at all? Is any form of shielding other, right? So we don't have a Houndmaster. We don't have a Man-at-Arms. And if it ends up where the enemy is like those Templars were, or Volf, or Sonorous Prophet, or many of the other enemies we faced that either have particularly damaging attacks that you can shield your allies from, or like broadcasting their attacks, where you can shield your allies with like a super protective or defensive dude. We're not gonna have that here. We're just not gonna have that here, I guess. So then on our Hellion, if we're mostly thinking we care about the bleeding skills, do I really care about the damage as much as I'm nervous about equipping the Hellions or Heaven's Hairpin, just because I'm, again, I still have it in my mind that they're gonna mess with our torch at some point. Which has not happened yet, so. Some of the abilities are kind of inaccurate, where maybe I want to just go with Ancestor's Signet Ring. If we're doing a lot of bleed attacks, just hitting them is more important, and the protection I think will be nice. And then maybe... I don't know, Overture Box? It does lower our accuracy then, but just like tankiness. These are pretty nice together, like that's overall a really good benefit. I guess. So let's see. I'm going to take one step back and see if there's any information that I'm... Now that I've sort of planned the team, a lot of times the information about what was going to happen was pretty clearly laid out in the description, so I'm going to read it one more time. Hell is in the heart. Okay, we're fighting a heart. At last, the twisted heart of the world is laid bare, for sword or supplication. So, supplication, we looked that word up last time, because I didn't know it. Supplication was a word that was unknown to me. Supplication means to, like, kneel or yield or whatever. Accepting the greatness of someone else or something. What was the actual definition? A humble, earnest, or often desperate petition or prayer directed to a deity or an authority figure to ask for help, mercy, or specific provisions. So we may be, like, given a choice at some point. Goals kill one heart of darkness. And I don't know what these rewards, like, what's the point of having rewards here? Unless there's more. I would have expected the rewards to be, like, literally nothing. Alright, and we will do a gamba. Have no fear. And there's no reason not to just literally bring everything, right? Oh, I'm out of money? Hold on, we can solve this. We don't need a duplicate of this. Okay. And you know what? The shard dust is like questionable value anyway. Since we can't be, it lowers your virtue chance. And realistically, I mean, well, we don't have enough resources. Okay. I actually, interestingly enough, I don't even need to start a timer because I kind of need to, I need to go to the bathroom and it will be a, I need to go, a more thorough evacuation. So, will a character die? Yes or no? I'll give you 2 minutes, but I might be gone for slightly longer than 2 minutes. I'll be back, and then we'll head into the darkest of dungeons. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I am back. And without further ado, I guess, let's do this. Well, that's ominous. Okay. Just dots, huh? Oh shit. Oh, this is like similar to the background when we fought the Shambler. You'll take care of the vote's results? Okay. Is it really him? Okay.
In all my terrible researches, what I sought was a glimpse behind the veil, a crumb of cosmic truth. I found it here, and in that moment of brain-blasting realization, I ceased to be a man, and became a herald, an avatar of the crawling chaos.
We shouldn't have done that. Duh. Don't do that. Don't become... Pro life tip. Don't become an avatar of crawling chaos. It's not worth it. It's never worth it. We have no torch here. I don't like that. Oh. Use the shovel? Okay.
Life feeds on life. In your petty pursuit of family redemption, you consume those who rally to your cause, and in so doing, you strengthen the thing, accelerating the end. This is as it should be. It is why you are here.
Okay. Are we the baddies? Is everyone a bad guy? Sort of feels like it.
We are chained here forever, you and I, at the end of the world. Free yourself, rouse the thing, and embrace the ineffable cosmic hideousness that lives within us all.
Okay. What if I say no? What if I don't want to? That sure looks like a heart. Okay. So let's not worry about hallway fights, I guess. Let's make sure we equipped for boss fight. Oh, good God. Oh my 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 God. I didn't even... Hold up. Hold up. I fully upgraded everyone, but Jesus. All right. Bosses are usually stun resistant. Let's do this. Can still do uppercut here. I mean, I think that's fine. Do I want to do marking? Instead of finish him? Sure, we can hit the front two, back two, just in case there's protection. And I guess I don't think I worry about stress heal. I think I'd rather have battle ballad. And here just something we can do from the front, but also mostly just heals. No, let's go with a stun. If we end up in the front rank, we'll just move.
You still foolishly consider yourself an
I
entity.
fucking knew it! It's a human! I called it! Human Eldritch! Who called it?
And I will show you.
He has 6 hit points. So even though I called it, I feel like maybe I didn't really call it. I guess I'll get a screenshot. Protection 80%, but I mean, this is still... Speed of 12. I mean, I don't really have to bother lowering his protection. I guess I just kill him. Oh, I don't kill him. I see. I guess we don't kill him, huh? Okay. Unless this is like, let's just buff up, right? Hmm. Well, okay, but... What do I do? I mean, do I kill the replicant? I'm assuming this will still say immune, but I think this is worth seeing. Yeah, okay, so let's just kill the front ones in front. Okay, that's fine. All right, yeah, not immune. Okay, and we'll stun, I guess. Human Eldritch, though. Human Eldritch. Okay, let's just keep killing this one. Boy, speed of 9, did we just get lucky to go before them? Or they just scripted to wait? Okay, that wasn't bad. I guess I just keep hitting him? I don't think I set up for a finale yet. Should I use... I mean, those attacks weren't bad. We didn't actually equip a stress heal though, which now I'm thinking might have been a mistake. I mean... Yeah, that guy's gonna die anyway. They're the same. Like that. Yeah, we maybe should have equipped a stress heal. I mean... Yeah. Judged. I mean, I guess I can prepare for a finale. Move forward. I see. Well, these two are taller. That's not a perfect replication. These two are clearly taller than these two. Anyone notice this? This is not a perfect reflection. That's a lie. This isn't some sort of weird spot the difference trick, is it? No way, right? Is that... I mean... Is he still invulnerable? I'm gonna guess. Yeah, okay. Alright. I assume that would be the same, but like, I don't know. Why not at least check? I guess Caltrops here. And it'll bleed out now. Unless I was supposed to kill the small one last. Okay, we have no stress heal, which is really bad. Sporadic reproduction. Okay, these ones are smaller. These are small ones, just like the other ones. Okay, we got a bleed here, but not that bad. I mean, I'm not using any... I don't know. It's gonna die to the bleed, so... I mean, I don't think I should be treating this like a normal fight, right? I should be thinking of this differently. How? I don't know. I don't know, let's kill the tall one, I guess. He's unlike the others. Oh, did he become smaller because I hit him? I might be reading into something that's not there. The game has taught me to, I don't know, be paranoid. It's working. I noticed that their skills aren't like... Yeah, are they just taller till we hit them? I noticed their skills don't show up at all, which, like, I don't know. Maybe I need to kill all of them at the same round, and then the ancestor becomes vulnerable. That feels plausible. I was gonna check if I could make him bleed. I feel like the answer is no. And I guess just to be safe, let's heal. Yeah, so let's try to kill them all at the same round. So sort of a change in strategy. Maybe he becomes vulnerable once they're all dead. Okay, so that one's gonna die next round. I mean, at this rate, we're just gonna have a... Oh. I just realized the retreat button is gone. I was like, should we retreat and equip a de-stressing skill? I guess we don't. Well, okay. Resist? Alright, we're almost certainly gonna at least get afflicted. I mean... Should I use the shard dust? Boy, I feel like no, because virtue chance goes down and that's the only thing we're really counting on. Because we're not... I don't know. Unless this really is like a damage race, I'm just not understanding. Alright, so he will almost die to the bleed, and I don't want him to die yet, because we're going to try to... I guess, try to make him die next round. Oh, never mind. He will die. Just kidding. Okay. But I like the guy at 1 health. They always start out slightly taller and then they shrink a little when we hit them, which I find very weird and I mean, kind of interesting, but mostly weird. I mean, I guess I could do a finale. Then we could at least test the idea. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I kind of want to do finale on the Ancestor, though, when the time comes. That just feels appropriate. Alright, so he's still not dead. That's actually what we wanted. Dodge. Unless all this is like irrelevant. This feels like scripted-ish. You know what I mean? Alright, so this is good. We should be able to presumably have them all die and then we'll see what we can do. No. I don't know. This feels... Oh, no. It's different. It's not just taller. It's not just taller. Alright, we just need to keep churning through them. It is changing. Okay. Okay. We just need to keep killing them. Oh, no. Okay, I think I understand maybe what the game is communicating to me. Okay, we just keep killing him. We just kill. Yeah, just like that. All right. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, 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 okay. They all bleed though, so that's good. I mean, we've not been doing a good job of making them bleed, but... and it doesn't matter if we're in position 1, right? We can still... I guess it kind of does. He's still going to be immune, right? Okay. Well, we checked. Though we do get a stress heal whenever we hit him, which is interesting. I think unequipping the... Yeah, okay. So they're all going to be this form now. So I'm kind of thinking that at least on our bounty hunter, we use the shard dust. I guess. Right, because it'll give us more damage. Even though we lose virtue chance and increased stress. I don't know, maybe that was wrong. And this is more damage overall, so they are humans. They don't look very human. They're starting to look a little less human. I wonder if that'll change. It'll go from Eldritch Human and just change into Eldritch. That would be some very cute gameplay-based storytelling. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh! He took a point of damage. The game's saying keep going. It chooses. No, it doesn't. Stop. Don't. Oh, I don't like that. Okay. Stabbed. Yeah. I choose. Okay. Now they're back to humans, but they're tall. They're tall humans. Maybe I should have done the AoE there. I don't know. Yeah, they become smaller as soon as they get hit. And I guess I just keep hitting them. Get caltropped. Yeah, he's not gonna die though. Okay. Alright, we'll bandage that. That's fine. I don't think I'm gonna heal. Mark's gonna go away. Oh, yeah. I guess maybe finishing him off is kind of what we actually want to be doing then. I mean, I'm not going to use Finale yet, I don't think. I think we just keep hitting him. Yeah. That's a big attack. So far, not... Uh-oh. Okay, so far. Judged. And I could do breakthrough. I guess it's not that big of a debuff. Yeah, okay. Still immune. I mean, as expected. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to, like, garner information from the types of clones he's making. If there's some sort of, like, I don't know, conclusion I'm supposed to be able to be, like, able to make from that. Afflicted? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to alter or do differently. I mean, we are almost killing him, so like, he's almost dead, so down to 2 hit points. Yeah, I definitely should have got a stress heal. Man, like the one thing I unequipped was like the one thing I really needed, I guess. Okay, down to 1 hit point, so he's almost dead. Bounty Hunter's doing work, that's for sure. Oh.
The flesh is fluid. It can be changed, reshaped, remade.
I guess I should get Cosmic. I mean, I guess we get screenshots of these too. And the Ancestor is now, has like a proper health bar. I mean, I guess we hit, I guess we don't care about our Virtue Chance anymore. I guess we should just use the Shard Dust here now too. And we hit probably the Ancestor. I guess it makes us take some more stress damage though. Actually, maybe that was really a bad idea. Okay. I mean, he bleeds. We're not very good at hitting the back line, though we've got a big finale lined up. Maybe not big enough, but... Judged. Okay. He shuffles, but we don't. We're gonna have a straight up heart attack, aren't we? Well, shit. I mean, I guess I should at least be using the holy waters. I guess. I mean, I don't know. That's not enough damage yet. And we should, I guess, heal. I don't know. I guess just keep hitting him. I don't know. I don't know any different. I don't know any better. But he is bleeding. Like, we are doing it. I'm a little bit worried about doing a finale here because this might not be like the final phase of this too. We can stun him. Also, these haven't done anything. I guess It does literally say absolute nothingness, so I don't know what I expected. Absolute nothingness is currently doing nothing. Not surprised, I guess. He can be stunned. That's fine, we'll heal everyone else. I mean, we have a ton of bleed on him. This is almost finale worthy. But there's a... Things come in threes. There's gonna be a third phase to this. Like where he turns into an actual, like, heart or something. Eldritch Human, though. Eldritch Human. I mean, he's basically dead. Like, he's very close to dead. He's extremely close to dead. Yeah, we're obviously not gonna bother with a finale. We just do this. So he's gonna bleed out now? He's like already dead? Save the bandages, I guess? Okay, he went down to 0 hit points. Alright, we're literally gonna have a heart attack here though, so... Oh! Ah! He transformed into a heart!
It is undying. Pray it does not take too hideous a form.
Okay. We just keep hitting it. It does have low bleed resist. It's no longer human, it's only eldritch. And the music stopped. Excuse me? Judged. Just kidding. Okay. Holy shit. Okay, we've got anti-venom. We'll maybe end up doing a finale next round. Probably not gonna bother with the anti-venom here. But we will certainly on our bounty hunter. Yeah, that's a much bigger one. Because it's like 2 stacked on top of each other. This lack of music. Anytime the music cuts out, especially if it only happens like once in a game, that's serious business. If this crits, I don't know, it'll be close to killing him. Should I just do it? Let's just do a regular attack, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. He's already dead. He's gonna die to the bleed. Okay, so we just heal ourselves. We heal almost all of ourselves. We heal 3 of the 4.
Behold the heart of the world, progenitor of life, father and mother, alpha and omega, our creator and our destroyer.
Cosmic. The music kicked back in. We're pretty low on health here on Susage, but everyone else is in good shape. Maybe I Judgment. He starts out missing health. And he still has the bleeds. Judged. Okay. Is this supposed to happen? Did my game just crash? Did my game actually just crash? I mean... Oh. Come into your maker. What? Am I... Okay. Earlier, Not Delusional said, "Don't worry, Slurgi, I'll handle the prediction." I thought that seemed really weird in the moment. And I guess I get it now. People were voting with inside information, quite unfair with people who don't know. That's fair. Like me. Okay. Okay. I mean, I guess if I had to pick someone, I guess I picked right. Because they were already like afflicted or whatever. We still have a healer. We just hit him. And just make ourselves resistant to the like blight return. Oh, it didn't happen anymore? Don't? Okay. Selfish. No, I don't want to. Unless this is just like you get to, like Okay. Well, should have been virtuous. Unless I really want to keep a heal. No, I should have gotten rid of the one that's a masochist, huh? Alright. Obviously we're gonna use the... Oh, no, we can't. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm not gonna use the finale yet. Okay, we're getting close. I guess we're pretty much there. I mean, this is almost, unless it low rolls, this is enough to kill. There might be another phase after this, but like...
Victory. A hollow and ridiculous notion. We are born of this thing, made from it, and we will be returned to it in time. The great family of man. A profusion of errant flesh, multiplying, swarming, living, dying, until the stars align in their inexorable formation, and what sleeps is roused once more, to hatch from this fragile shell of earth and rock and bring our inescapable end. So seek solace in a manner befitting your lineage, and take up your nugatory vigil, haunted forever by that sickening prose echoing through the infinite blackness of space and time. Ruin has come to our family.
Holy shit. This is just the... I thought this was going to be a prologue thing to read, but this is just literally what it says at the beginning. Darkest Dungeon is about making the most of a bad situation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Right? It lets me back in. Is it just because you... Have I done it? I think I have, right? I think that's what that means.
Surplus. A rare and wonderful thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright. Emote only mode is off. Emote only mode is now off. Well, okay. Holy shit. All spoiler restrictions are completely lifted. All spoiler restrictions are completely lifted. You can now give all forms of all spoilers that you would like to say, and I'm gonna look up a bunch of shit, probably at this point, I guess. Yeah, so that's okay. That was gonna be my first question. Is there a way to beat it without losing anyone? And I'm this time there's no tricks. There's no tricks. All questions that I ask are answerable. There's no tricks. There's no tricks whatsoever. You can tell me everything. Hit chance is a lie. Yes, there's a YouTube clip on it. Unless you could do 100 plus damage in a single Giga crit, yes, you could lose no one. Okay. Why did you not upgrade the Antiquarian's dodge skill? That's true, I never did try that. Ended with a finale, how fitting? Yes. Okay. Either one-shot or to bring 2 heroes. Oh, if you bring 2 heroes, does it just not? Okay. I see. Slurgi herbs cleanse the Iron Maiden of foul air trapped inside. I still don't believe it. Bjorn to kill. That still sounds like nonsense. Oh. Slurgi playtime? 115 hours is what I've got logged in Steam. So you can go with only 2 heroes and he doesn't use Come Into Your Maker? Okay. So you will love Crimson Court and what it brings to the table. Probably don't want spoilers there. Well, I think... Well, that's fair. Okay. I guess that's fair. I probably don't want spoilers there. So do you remember when you couldn't target Wolf on your first try? Yes. Slurgi dog treat works on the clam? Okay, hold up. Yeah, all right. We're gonna... Dog treat works on the clam. What is the name of the... So there is actually a curio where the dog treat works. Oh, and oh my god, there's like a full breakdown of all these. Yeah, okay. Huh, okay. Slurgi Grave Robber and Abomination are the best heroes. This run didn't count because you didn't use them. I used the Grave Robber. Not excessively, but I did use the actually, and in retrospect, I think if I could have made very good use of the Grave Robber. So he guarded his goons, you could have simply attacked those. Oh yeah. He did guard the front ones, didn't he? Oh my god. Oh my god. Schmorf, you're right. So they pinged you on Discord? Okay. Oh my god. No Grave Robber, no Abomination, no Highwayman. What is this cursed run? I don't know. I had a Highwayman for a while. And in fact, we had a Highwayman that... Oh, and actually, yeah, hold on. Met their end against a Heart of Darkness. Yeah, okay. We had a Highwayman. Jodidos Hierbos. So did Campfire works on setting up... Oh yeah, does the Campfire work on any curios? Like, actually? I want to know the answer to that. And yeah, Antiquarian's dodge skill boosts the whole team's dodge. Yeah. I mean, I sort of figured that. I didn't actually end up leveling it up, but given that all the other things work that way... Though realistically, I feel like Flash Powder is... in a way better because you can target like a specific enemy. So, okay. Okay, when your Man-at-Arms turned virtuous in the first Darkest Dungeon venture, you peaked? Oh yeah, dude, that was incredible. Psycho Ling, absolutely. Absolutely. If you would have gone into the final dungeon with 10 out of 12 heroes dead, that was practically game over before you ever tried the Darkest Dungeon. Yeah. Yes, actually, right? Oh, whoa. Oh, the restriction just like disappears from the screen now. Okay. Definitely worth a read through the No Slurgi Darkest Dungeon channel. I have no idea what's going on in this game, but the channel is very entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I did, well, yeah, okay. Oh my god, there's so much chat to read. Holy shit, I'm so far behind. Sergi, so you know the Antiquarian's max dodge ability gives 11 dodge, so you stack it as its 2 turns. Sure, so I guess what you're saying is when this is maxed up, max level, this doesn't have a chance to miss, and okay. All units have an 5% chance to hit that's added to the number you see. Okay, what? So, hold on. Boy. Oh my god, there's so much to read. Fucking hell. Darkest Dungeon hit chance. Accuracy modifier. A further hidden +5 accuracy and minus the target. You'll need a displayed 95% hit chance for the game to internally modify this to a guaranteed hit. You also gain a +4 accuracy bonus for any consecutive miss in a row after the first one. Okay, I absolutely hate that. I absolutely hate that. Absolutely hate that. I'll have a, all right. I have a blueprint, a sketch of a little Slurgi presentation that I'm gonna give for a sort of concluding thoughts on everything. And that was among the things that is on my list of stuff to look up. Though interestingly, the way I was gonna look it up was how does Jester's finale skill work? Because it literally never missed. Even though it showed a 95% hit chance, and like that is a statistical impossibility, like actually impossible. Like once the number of times I used it, that would never happen. Okay. Let's see, what are some other? The Screecher flies away usually. You killing it was so absurd. Oh. The guy he named the Dead Highwayman after complaining about him misusing him in that pick? Oh, really? Well, I don't know, whatever. Obviously, I'm going to misuse heroes that I don't know how to use. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother reading the No Slurgi chat. So when I made the No Slurgi channel, shortly afterwards I was like, I might read it afterwards, blah blah blah. But I didn't say that until later, and I think the implication from people chatting there is that I don't know, it feels like an invasion of privacy. I'm just not gonna look at it unless people want me to look at it, or you have something specific, or maybe I should anyway, I don't know, whatever. Plague Doctor's Battlefield Medicine cures her of blight and bleed in addition to the target. Don't know if you ever noticed that. Yes, I did notice that actually. The No Slurgi channel was our venting channel. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that makes sense. 95 was a lie the whole time. The game isn't cheating, it is just lying to you to make learning the game harder without looking things up. No, that's, I mean, sure, the game can't cheat because the game works as the game is coded, but the game lying to me, I absolutely hate. This was so incredibly enjoyable. The early days of chat trying to police themselves kind of added to the fun. Hope you enjoyed Darkest Dungeon, one of your all-time faves. I did enjoy Darkest Dungeon. There's a fun compilation of comments in there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, Lucid Tavi just put a a picture. Are you gonna try Blood Moon with Crimson Court next? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do we have time to watch a video on hidden mechanics together? 12 minutes? Yeah, I mean, we have time, but I don't, I have a personal, vendetta against reaction videos of all kinds. Like, I hate that they exist. I think that any content where you're watching another video is trash, and I refuse to participate, even if I think it kind of makes sense here. So I'm just gonna refuse. But I would be interested in a link to that video, Choppy Cat. I put my social security number in the No Slurgi channel, don't read it. Well, that's useless unless you also gave your mother's maiden name, copy of your birth certificate, you know, a few other minor details. Oh, your credit cards too. So did you ever figure out how crits worked? I sure as hell did not. No, though, in... oh yeah, so let's look up the crits. So one interesting observation about crits is that we reached another statistical impossibility. Oh my god, what's happening to my mouse? Oh no, did my keyboard? What the hell's going on with my keyboard? Well, that was weird. I must have like sticky keys or something. Darkest Dungeon crits. In the third trip in the Darkest Dungeon, our Vestal, every single crit was for the exact same amount of damage, right? She did exactly 24 damage every single time. So 150% of your max damage, isn't it? Crits don't vary? Okay. Interesting. Now, hold on. I don't remember what the... Okay. I don't remember what the numbers were, obviously. But I remember when I was just sort of sifting through mechanics to try to math and work things out. I thought I concluded that it could not have been a 1.5 times multiplier because we had a unit with like a max damage. Let's say it was 10, because I don't remember what the numbers were. And I did a crit, and the crit was for, let's say 16, and let's say our damage range was 6 to 10, did a crit, and the damage was 16. Right? The damage number was not 1.5, like distinctly, of the max. So I concluded that it rolled its damage and then multiplied it by 2. So I feel like I actually did that math, and that can't be right, but the game does weird as shit math with a lot of the numbers. Damage numbers are floating point and it rounds weirdly. That makes sense to me. I don't think it was a trinket. It was like whatever damage number was displayed. It's 150% of max damage, but some hidden damage buffs are hidden, like damage versus mark or damage versus unholy. I guess I don't know. Whatever number was displayed as the damage range, the number of the crit, unless I'm misremembering this, was like definitely more than 1.5. And it was by exactly 1. Where my conclusion was basically that the number that I saw on the crit, based on a certain number of observations, was always at least 2 times some number within their damage range. So the displayed numbers in the damage range don't show some modifiers. Jesus. The math in the game is eldritch, numbers twisted and warped by their exposure to the void. Okay. If it's 10.4 max, then crit would be 16. Sure. I see what you're saying. So it's not like dealing with integers under the hood. Did you work out when you can eat food outside of food checks and camping? Oh, no, I have no idea. Also, I'm curious when you can eat food, and also what causes the food checks. That's on my list. I have a long list on a different document of things that I'm gonna look up. You just posted food above? Okay, shit. Oh, I see it, Despotini. Okay, sorry. There's just so many things, I'm missing some messages. So hunger is an invisible trap tile. It spawns max 1 per hallway. Once you eat, you are immune for that hallway and the next. When you camp, you're immune from the next hallway. So you can divide the number of hallways by 2 And you need 4 food for each, essentially. Okay, so it's an invisible trap tile, spawns max 1 per hallway. You mean like when you go to a room, it spawns a new one? Because it definitely seemed to increase the number of times it would proc you needing to eat later in a dungeon. So is it like every time you visit a room, it spawns one of those tiles randomly throughout the whole dungeon or something like that? Or is it different from that? I'm also curious. Yeah, so what I sort of theorized as like a hypothetical would be that it would be like you have some percent chance every, I guess, like tile you walk, and it would just keep going up, and then it would go down after you eat, and then you'd go up. I feel like I like my system better. But when you exit a room into a hallway that you have fully explored, it spawns stuff there like traps and fights. Okay. Food traps spawn like normal fights. Okay. Every time you enter an already visited hallway, there's a chance to spawn a tile, combat, trap, or hunger. Okay, interesting. Some of the DLC content did not filter out great throughout the base game. Stealth is one of those things, and you definitely caught on to that. Man, I will say I'm actually like okay with that. Like the game having a mechanic that you can interact with, but has a minimal impact. But in the back of your mind, you always want to be ready for it to matter. I think of as like a really good mental burden. So like all throughout this playthrough, the entire time, I kept talking about how it might be important to have a de-stealthing ability. Literally, I think every single boss, or practically every single boss, right? If I thought it was maybe relevant, including all the darkest dungeon, literally not once. Literally not once. But I think that sort of mental load is actually like cool. Like I like that. I think that's a good thing about the game. And it's one of those things that once you've played the game, you might not realize that maybe when you were new, you also thought that, because you immediately sort of erase it as irrelevant. Because right now I feel like de-stealthing is completely irrelevant. So, did you come across a unique ambush while camping with Shieldbreaker at all? You never saw the snakes. The snakes. Oh, fun. Is there a unique ambush when you have the Shieldbreaker and you camp? I don't think I ever rested with a Shieldbreaker. I would have liked to. Laudanum works with 0 curios because it was added later? Okay. Because yeah, we've got this beautiful spreadsheet. And I tried using laudanum on some things, and eventually, like, I just stopped bringing it. Well, and then in my head, I was like, all right, laudanum could work with something that is literally alive, right? And so I was thinking maybe somewhere in the cove. Like I don't know, because there's like fish and shit. I don't see firewood on that list. You know, does firewood work on it? Yeah, hold on. Actually, I have 3 questions. Can you show the level of your dungeons? Oh, sure. Like this? So yeah, does firewood work on anything? I guess I can look these things up too. They're on my list of things to look up. Does firewood work on anything? I guess apparently dog treats do work on something. Choppy Cat said earlier, like the clam, the giant oyster. Well, that's funny because the giant oyster, we used damn near everything else on it except for the laudanum and the dog treat. And then does the laudanum really work on nothing? I guess laudanum should work on the clam. Oh no shit. Okay. Well, that was actually that's a little bit like good for me because I suspected that was a possibility. That was my hypothesis, but I had so many different random hypotheses running through my head, and 90% of them were wrong. So, have we talked about the hidden built-in fast adaptation? I just read it when I was looking up the accuracy. Yeah, so there's a built-in hidden fast adaptation where you get a plus 4% hit chance every time you miss. Is that per character, per ability? When does that reset? The wiki didn't actually give a description of it. I also hate that as a side note, but whatever. Firewood works on nothing. Firewood works on Crimson Court Curial, so it's patched out. Okay. Conditions for Wolf to be able to spawn at least week 40 and at least 4 level 5 heroes. What week was it when we got him? It was like a long time ago. I mean, it was definitely many streams ago. How far back? Does this go to the very beginning? Oh my god, it does. Wow, we can actually see everything. That's amazing. I mean, I'm not going to scroll here to find what, but it was, I feel like it was quite a while ago, so it must not have been too long after week 40, but. XCOM Long War, let's go. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do next. I've got some ideas, but what's going to happen to the prediction? Oh boy, I don't know. You know what? I feel like actually, I agree with Not Delusional that I think that prediction should be canceled. Or like, I'm not gonna, I think answering that prediction is incorrect. Like, I think me putting, I feel like that should just be null and void. That seems unfair. I still don't know how Slurgi was able to go through the Warrens without being traumatized. I mean, I certainly exited the Warrens with like damn near 16 diseases. So you think it was 40 something the first time? Yeah. Also, Slurgi, you mentioned you didn't think completing all the bosses is possible. It is. The hardest challenge I know of right now is no torch, no death, all bosses, Crimson Court, and Farmstead enabled, and all journals. Oh, yeah. I mean, no. I shouldn't say it's not possible. I don't know how I phrased it. Obviously, I think they're all possible to beat. I'm actually surprised. I feel like my first hot take on what would be an interesting, and I'm not going to do it for the record. I feel like an interesting way to approach the game, at least my inclination, would be how fast can you do the Darkest Dungeon? No other qualifications. Just like by what week can you complete the 4th expedition in the Darkest Dungeon? And maybe with like the perfectly tuned team, that number is comically low and isn't interesting. I'm not sure, but okay, you just canceled the prediction. Okay, thank you, Not Delusional. At level 5, they inflict all kind of debuffs. Minus heal, receive, minus bleed resist, minus disease resist. Oh, I mean, yeah. Like, like, enabling Crimson Court makes Stygian 100 weeks long. There's so much cheese in this game. You know, someone did it by week 13. Yeah, I mean, that seems plausible. The first version of the flagellant. Oh, okay, all right. I have flagellant questions too that are on my list. How does the flagellant work? So there's hidden. So here's one of my things. It's on my spreadsheet of like things I'm gonna already set to complain about, and I'm gonna look this up. Not complain about. I don't know. I have a lot of positive and negative thoughts about the game in general. One of the ones that I'm gonna cover, which is negative, is nowhere here on the flagellant does it say anything about what happens when they reach death's door. And anyway, I'm going to go into more detail of this in the presentation when I have like a fully fleshed out sort of way I'd like to communicate it. But there's some information that I definitely love having hidden from me, and that makes the game interesting, fun, exciting, etc. And there's some information that's like mechanical that I actually do want the game to just simply describe. So you can't bring 2 flagellants in the same team. That tells you a lot about him. Not really. What I mean is like, I don't know, that doesn't tell me anything. Like, I hate hidden stats. So there's a presentation. Is it going to be death by PowerPoint? You're damn right it is. There will be a, I'll probably, what I want to do, I've got like an outline for what I want to talk about. And then I've got all sorts of gaps that I need to fill in from information that I'm going to look up. So I'll probably record it. Well, probably not tomorrow actually. Because we actually, well, within the next couple days. Okay, Flagellant has so many hidden effects that's not shown on Death Door effect trigger, below 40% HP effect, and on death effect. Flagellant is a surprisingly good rank for support, but is S tier on front rows, only Rapturous Virtue, which is good. But you do not have to play it Stress or Rapturous style. Rapturous. Like Rapturous Flagellant can only get 1 affliction Rapturous. Okay, okay. So I never let the Flagellant become afflicted. Oh. The only affliction the Flagellant can receive is Rapturous, which gives plus 25% damage, plus 3 speed, and minus 20 dodge. While Rapturous, the Flagellant will randomly attack enemies, other party members, or even himself, among other effects. He can never obtain a virtue, and will always become Rapturous upon reaching 100 stress. Oh. You did? No, I absolutely did not. And if I did, I guess I didn't notice that it was different from others. I mean, if it didn't appear different from other afflictions, I wouldn't have. Again, you guys have to remember, so one thing, and this is going to be on my list of things I want to talk about in the presentation. There's a lot of like, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. I'm gonna miss shit. And everyone is gonna miss shit. The smartest person in the world's gonna miss shit. There's, I don't know, there's like a certain smugness that I can sometimes get, that knowing things is not, I don't know. I'll come up with a better way to articulate it. But like, the example of like Rapturous or like using heroes wrong or whatever, it's like, no shit. Like, it's impossible to understand what is happening in this game because there's so many things happening and the game doesn't even tell you or explain. Yeah. Your approach to the 3rd Darkest Dungeon was very counter to what you thought was optimal. I had no idea you could out-sustain the fights in there. Seems better than trying to rush down the mobs. I don't know. I thought my approach in that 3rd one was terrible. I mean, you know, the interesting thing is like, you feel like chat did a very good job of not spoiling anything / everything, took some adjusting, feel like we did a good job. Yo, definitely. Most people did a very good job. Absolutely. Slurgi, I think you picked up on this, but stalling and rolling amazing virtues on the whole party is a thing. Can just heal away anything bad with Jester / Hound. I thought about that, Doomed Astronaut. So that is one of the things that I sort of like realized was probably possible, but the amount of just like sheer gameplay time to accomplish that is beyond the amount of like that to me is the min-maxing threshold that's like unfun and unreasonable, basically. Like, I don't want to do that. Shout out to the guy that got permanently banned. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Do you want to see that bombshell I hit in the YouTube chat? It's funny. Oh yeah, let's see it, Despozzini. I want to see it. I want to see it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a handful of things you can do in this game that obviously could be super broken. But like, yeah, I don't know. If you play endless, the virtues can be a strong strategy that you end up doing naturally sometimes. Sure. Crimson Court time? I don't think so. I think this is going to be the conclusion of my Darkest Dungeon playing for the moment. Dodge is probably the most broken stat. Okay, good. I agree. I figured pretty early on that dodge was probably the best stat. At least it was for the way I was playing. It's just like melee defense in Battle Brothers. Just don't get hit is the best way to not have bad stuff happen to you. Because like increasing your hit points by a certain percentage, who cares? Because a lot of times when you get hit, the problem is the stress or the fact that you got crit, which also caught, you know, whatever. There's all sorts of, just don't get hit. You're currently having your own run and you believe playing Stygian without any form of stalling is impossible? Sure. So did you check Darkest Dungeon? I pinged you with it? Okay. Defeating the boss only puts it back to sleep temporarily. Driven mad by this realization, the heir commits suicide after writing a letter to the next successor. The game ends in a hopeless time loop. Wow, that person is a jerk. That person just said that only to be a jerk. That's not like a spoiler that's on accident. That's just someone being an asshole. Wow. That's disappointing. I'm glad that you prevented me from seeing that. Though interestingly, if I had read that, would I have understood what it was saying? I don't think so. Actually, hold up. No, speaking of things that someone said that don't make sense to me. All right, so is there, hold on. Ah, okay. All right. I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. All right. So, one of the things that when I first discovered or first looked up how stalling worked, and I was like, all right, I'm announcing, I looked this up, blah, blah, blah. One of the comments that really pissed me off, which was made directly on one of the like live videos that I, behind the scenes, I unlist the live one and then I upload a recorded VOD that like cuts out the intro screen and cuts out the BRB screens. Anyway, so the person commented on one of those and said, let's see if your stalling bullshit works when you fight fanatics. In the back of my mind, I couldn't erase that I saw that. So I'm like, at some point I'm gonna face fanatics, and I know I'm gonna need to rush them down. Okay. Like I can't unsee it, which is why I was so pissed that I read it. In the back of my mind, I'm hanging on to the fanatics, or the fanatic. Okay, the fanatic. It wasn't plural. Right. I just looked it up. Okay, that's an enemy from the Crimson Court. So the person who put this spoiler, non-spoiler in my head that had me paranoid the whole time was a boss that I was never gonna see. Oh my god. And apparently stalling against the fanatic would be a bad idea. I'm gonna assume that's true. That's a weird thing to see. Let's see it. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just what they said, and I was just like, oh my god. Like, I realized there was like a certain amount of like angry backlash from looking up one mechanic that is also going to be part of some of the stuff I talk about in the little Thoughts on Darkest Dungeon presentation. Sergi, I would like to ask Slurgi, don't you think the game is a little too easy once stalling is so clearly answered? No, actually, Rail Tracer. I thought this game was perfect once I figured out and looked up how stalling mechanic works. Because, again, remember, I don't know what any of the bosses do. Think of how many fights I went into that I either misplayed because I was misunderstanding, misplayed because I didn't prepare right, which I guess you can't even really call that misplaying. It's just like, well, whatever, however you want to put it. Like, that to me was really fun, right? So the bajillion ways in which, although I now realizing that I could have attacked Wolf because he was guarding a different unit, that does make me feel a little bit stupid. That's just a misplay that I guess was obvious. But some of the things that are just like didn't prepare right, like those are cool. I think that's neat. So, and to me, there was no way I was going to be able to play the game without understanding how the stalling worked, because I was trying to do it every fight, no matter what. Like, it's like it or hate it. The reality is there's no way to plan your turn without knowing how it works. And if you can't plan your turn, you're not playing, like, you're not making decisions anymore. And at least for me, I feel completely robbed of agency. Like, if you want to play a game by just like clicking on whatever buttons feel like they give cool numbers, that is totally valid. I don't mean to say that's not a fine way to play a video game to just relax and have a good time. It is. But for me, I can't play a game like that. So I was never going to enjoy the game with this like really obscure mechanic that is punishing me constantly that I don't know how to interact with. I was going to hate that. So I actually wish I had looked it up earlier, to be honest. And the crazy thing is, and I mentioned this before, in my very, very first fight in my first dungeon, the very first fight, I reference, like I start talking out loud about things that are basically talking about stalling. In the very first fight, you can go back and look it up. The first try estate, the very first fight, after the tutorial dungeon, I say, oh, you know, I should probably have not killed this unit or the enemy with this unit and killed them with a different unit so that I could stress heal. So I should have like just either moved or done something that, you know, or stalled on purpose, right? So to me, it's like obviously implicit to the game's mechanics, and just accept it. Like, I don't know. Like, you don't have to play with it, but for people who are going to plan out their turns and think and strategize and who want to do that, don't yuck their yum. Let them have fun. Let me have fun. Let the people have fun who like want to understand the mechanics. You agree completely that knowing the mechanics makes it so that you have agency. The issue is with the game is that once you know the mechanics, the correct thing to do is often tedious. That's true. That's true. After Slurgi spoiled the sculling mechanic, I was upset for a little while, but after a day or so, I did no longer mind at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can understand the frustration of someone saying, okay, I'm going to do this completely blind. I'm not going to look at anything up. And then at some point, after yelling at chat constantly to not spoil stuff, decides to look up something that, at least from the perspective of someone who's played the game, feels like unknowable eldritch knowledge. And I'm going to go into details in my little presentation about the difference between that and other things in the game. But like, I was never going to be able to continue the game without looking that up or knowing it. I was ready, as previously mentioned. I started this damn spreadsheet and I was going to go through every single fucking combat, every single one. I was going to go through every single combat and derive how it worked, because I was unable to play the game without it. Like, it just seems so arbitrary. And I knew it was, I mean, it's a computer program, so I knew there were rules. I knew it was codified, and I needed to know how it worked. So, and like, the game was going to be terribly unfun if I was in a situation like, should I heal here or do I have to attack? And I don't know. It's a lot more fun to me to be able to say, oh, I know that I have to attack here. So, yeah, I don't know. This game's difficulty relies mostly on unknown information. Once you know how the game works, and if you know what you're doing, the game's really not that hard. I mean, that's probably kind of true Eldritchness. However, it was still, for me, a ton of fun to not know how any of the bosses worked. And honestly, any of the different zones, like what we needed to bring, the curios, all these things, like figuring out all that was super fun. The worst spoilers for me are ones that seemed super innocent. And I'm going to give you an example. After a certain boss fight, there were two types of comments that like, I really like, I understand why people said them and I'm not going to like blame them. One of them is, oh, you got lucky that some specific thing, like you got lucky that the boss, like they'll say something a little bit specific. Basically like you got lucky that something didn't happen. Like you have to remember the bosses repeat, right? So let's say that if I never saw the Siren's Song of Desire actually succeed, I would have been like, oh, I don't know what that does. I mean, I could maybe assume, but I don't know. The other big one was when someone's like, oh, this boss is one of the hardest in the game, or oh, that's an easy boss, or things like that. Even if it's after I've fought it, now you're giving a metric for how I can compare that to other enemies, and that is just the absolute worst. Like that really bugged me. I think that happened on accident after I killed Wolf, and they're like, oh, that's one of the hardest bosses in the game. It's like, now I know that, and I wish I didn't. Then as we were going into the darkest dungeon, I'd be like, well, if I beat Wolf, maybe these are easier, and I think that might be true, but still, actually, that's not even true. Honestly, Wolf with the party that I went into it with, easy peasy. And people who voted that I was gonna lose in that fight, dude, we had the perfect party composition. What are you talking about? That was unkillable. So. You did a great job at learning the game, but you were also super lucky a lot of times. If any of us tried to pull some of the things you did, we would have died a bunch of times. See, I doubt that that's true, Hodito Ciervos. I mean, maybe it is true, but I doubt that that's true. I think a lot of things look like luck when you are... So, I chose characters based on their dodge stat. I equipped relics based on, or trinkets based on their dodge stat, and I made sure to, I really liked the Man-at-Arms, where I increased people's dodge stat. So like, that looks like luck. And in a vague sort of sense, it is, but yet it isn't. It's just like when you level melee defense in Battle Brothers as your like most important stat, instead of leveling fatigue or something stupid. And people are like, oh, you're just like lucky. It's like, no, I'm just like not letting a statistical impossibility happen. Like, dodge is a good stat. Just don't get hit. Like, good players make their own luck. Yeah, I mean, I just sort of looked at sort of the maths in front of me and made... There's a lot, don't get me wrong, my brain is fucked. I have a lot of flaws. There are ways in which I seem to not be able to grasp the world in the same ways as other people, aphantasia, blah, blah, blah. But one thing that I do have a knack for is like intuiting probabilities really quickly, relatively. I mean, that's, I don't know. So like, there's a lot of things that I see the skill in that if you don't have that intuition, you're gonna think looks like luck. And I see that in all sorts of other games all the time. People will say that even about like build order victories in like a Brood War tournament, and I'm like, no. I mean, technically, yes, he got lucky, but that was a strategic, like, cheese or whatever. Anyway. I think you got mostly lucky with Virtue, which is something you can't really manipulate. I got lucky for the Virtue to proc in the first Darkest Dungeon trip, for sure. Though I was gonna heal it. Right. Are you a math teacher IRL? No. Though I did teach, like college robotics courses for a little while and stuff, but people are always saying that the best Magic the Gathering players are lucky, but really they're just better at setting themselves up to win. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, Magic the Gathering players will do like the tiniest little optimization to like increase or decrease their chance of drawing a land versus a non-land that seem insignificant, but accumulated over time actually make a huge difference. New season of ASL, let's go. Yeah, hell yeah. It's a pet peeve of yours when people review difficult roguelikes as RNG bullshit. Whenever you are unprepared to make a bunch of small mistakes, the nail in the coffin will look like bad luck. I 100% agree with you, Xylan64. That is a hooray, golf clap, cheer, fist pump comment. Absolutely agree with you. I completely agree with you. I definitely 100% agree with that statement, and I think that's perfectly phrased. So, speaking of hidden mechanics that aren't told to you, did you know that if a hero's level is less than the dungeon level, they get 20 stress at the start of a dungeon per difference? Literally not told to you anywhere. Yes, I actually noticed that. I think from the first try estate, when we entered the darkest dungeon, we started with a bunch of stress. And then I want to say that I then confirmed it on the second try estate. I did know that. I did notice that. I think I noticed that, actually, interestingly, I noticed that before I noticed that stress slowly heals over time when you're not going on expeditions. Though the interesting thing is that second one is a good example of something that is literally on screen. You have to remember that when you've played a game before, you have a filter. And when you return from a dungeon, it actually shows on the right-hand side the little like de-stressing icon over each unit. But when I would first come back to the estate, what I'm looking at always on the first screen is this, and I'm reading the text. My eyes don't even go over to the right side to see that happen. So, I didn't notice that until... Actually, I don't think I noticed it until I read The Puppet Theater and then saw idle stress relief in town increased by 10 per week, and I'm like, increased? What? So, anyway. So you went on Wolf combat with full health and stress. Any boss fight in this game can be easily beaten if you know what it is doing and you're in perfect condition. The deal with Wolf was that the way to the boss fight is hard, and you don't do that egregiously long stallings, things will get complicated fast. Well, yeah, so then you do the egregiously long stalling. I didn't know where the boss was. Of course I was going to do that. So it only occurred to me now, do you feel like you got unlucky / like you got an unlucky streak in this run? The problem is I don't schmorf. And the reason why I don't is I don't know what any of the enemies' hit percentages are. Or like, I don't have a sense for what the enemies' hit chances are or their dodge... well, I guess I know their dodge chance, but like... what their AI for target selection is, among many, many other things. So it's kind of hard for me to assess whether I was lucky or unlucky in certain parts of a run. One must assume, just like any other time you're dealing with any sort of random number generation, that you more or less had average luck, which I think is just the safe assumption you should always have. I will never forgive Slurgi for removing Tone Deaf from the Jester so late in the campaign. Yeah, that's fair. The willingness to sell trinkets is something new players typically don't do. You picked up on one of the best revenue streams. That was huge. Yeah, except I was still pretty reluctant to sell them. Like, I was nervous about selling. Basically, now that I know a bit more about the way the game works, like, I would aggressively sell early on from the start now, knowing what I value in trinkets. But since I didn't know what stats would be important, right? Something that's like, here's increased bleed chance. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe I really will need that later. And even if I like went into dungeons never using it, I'd be like, but maybe later I'll figure out that that's important. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I think that in Battle Brothers, it never takes 2 punctures to kill a unit. You have 9 lives and plenty of health. Like, the other thing too is the human intuition with probabilities is bad, right? And I'm not even talking about, you know, we've got 2 goats behind these 2 doors and one, you know, I'm not even talking about sort of tricky problems. Even if you just look at percentages, as soon as you start multiplying percentages together, especially very unlikely or very likely events, our ability to conceptualize large numbers is just a mess. And so there are things that appear to be bullshit, like getting hit by a 1 in 20 hit chance, that are actually like, that's going to happen 1 in 20 times. That's actually super likely if you think of how many total hits happen over the course of how many attacks happen over the course of a run. Now, if you get hit by 2 5% in a row, okay, that's like a 1 in 400 chance. That's pretty unlikely, but actually not even that unlikely. But as soon as you start chaining those together more than twice, you start getting into very quickly astronomically unlikely odds. And our ability to conceptualize very large numbers is the sort of the same as our inability to conceptualize extremely low probabilities. We're just not very good at it. Human intuition is just not very good at it. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a conclusion to that, but whatever you think is probably wrong. That's maybe my conclusion. You should second guess yourself. So, Slurgi, so what's your final opinion on the medicinal herbs and the Iron Maiden? I'm fine with it. So. But yeah, Lucid Tavi, I don't think that that's true of Battle Brothers. Single wrong fight and run over. I mean, that was the whole reason why I did the win streak series in Battle Brothers. Why I went through every single origin in the game, one by one, which if you're looking for a fix, if you want to see more, UV Catastrophe in chat is, I think you're currently on, are you done with Southern? Anyway, kind of doing a similar thing. But, you know, if you want another fix. Anyway, that's the whole reason I went through all of those, was just to demonstrate, like, look, over the course of these 15 runs, I'm gonna get unlucky. I'm gonna get extremely unlucky. And here's how you bounce back. So. Okay, chat, when will we reveal the fact that retreating can fail in this game? I think we've seen it fail. When I ran against the Shambler, actually, what's the chance of that? It failed a few times in a row. Right? So, let's see, what's the chance? Is there a number? 70% chance to succeed on the first time, then plus 5% for each other attempt. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so 70% chance to succeed. That's probably about right. We very, very, very rarely retreated from fights. And we've seen it fail. It failed against the Shambler. You played about 100 hours of Darkest Dungeon and it felt like you had mastered it and you had a good time and you were done. You played about 1,000 hours of Battle Brothers and you feel like you're learning every time you play. It's not counting the hundreds of hours watching Slurgi and Deductor and so on. Oh, Deductor's another highly recommended player. But yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, I do know that retreating could fail. I assumed it was. Actually, to be honest, I didn't assume it was 70%. I don't know what I assumed. I assumed it would probably be different per fight. I didn't have enough data to make an assumption. But I knew that it succeeded most of the time we did it, and we almost never did it. Apparently the Shambler is yeah, I actually assume so. I never did kill the Shambler. I think someone asked that too. Yeah, I never did kill the Shambler. Actually. The Shambler's... Oh. Oh, never mind. Yeah, so it has 3 different versions. I mean, that's what I would have expected. If you can run into it in any level of dungeon, it would just have different stats for each. Yeah. And the Shambler is on my list of things to look up. As well as like list of trinkets, list of curios, things like that. Anyway, nice job, Slurgi. Time to go climbing with coworkers. Hey, enjoy. Enjoy a good rock climbing. Haven't really been able to do it since the growing the guitar playing nails, but have fun, UV Catastrophe. Enjoy. So. Shambler's a great early game target. He can instantly give you ancestral relics. Yeah, I suppose if you've got the right team for him. Shambler's pretty strong, but as nearly every single enemy in this game, the solutions just have a lot of damage. Yeah, I mean, I think the idea, basically the solution for a lot of fights is in the hallway fights, always make sure you have some way of stalling at the end to not have any sort of damage when you exit the fight. And to be able to pour out as much damage as possible and damage race before you put the fight into a position where you can stall, or to damage race and kill a boss as fast as possible. Roughly speaking, I think that just like always works. You missed a lot. How you feeling about Darkest Dungeon, Slurgi? I loved it. I think this game was a ton of fun, and I can see why it's a lot of people's favorite games of all time. Though the things that I love about it are mostly music, sound design, art style, things like that. You know, I think like aesthetically, I love that this game has something completely unique and it just like absolutely goes for it. And I love that. And I wish more games would embrace the weird and embrace the different. I really liked a lot of the boss designs. I liked the way they did every single Darkest Dungeon adventure. I pretty much like every single boss. I liked the way the game could be beaten if you didn't have knowledge of what was going ahead of time, if you tried to intuit as much as you could, which is exactly how I played it, right? There are some things that I wish were different, mostly in what it communicates to the player and how it communicates it to the player, but I'm going to go into more details in that in the video that I'm going to put out here relatively soon. So you think, if anything, the feedback/thoughts on the No Slurgi channel is that you significantly undervalued damage and backline damage in particular? Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. I mean, again, if you're approaching this game as a veteran, you say to yourself, you think, oh, it's a given that the backline enemies are the ones you want to kill because they are the ones that inflict stress attacks, they've got the bigger debuffs, they've got all the things, you know, whatever. And the ones in the front of the enemy party are like the tanky ones that protect others and blah, blah, blah. But you already know that, right? So a new player isn't going to value backline damage because they don't know that they need to. And how could they? Right? A lot of games, the backline is naturally protected for one reason or another. So like, you don't really learn that until you've played the game a decent amount. And then you realize that that's a recurring theme. And you figure it out. But like, assuming that a person is just going to magically know, like that's not possible. Anyway. Your initial guess was that you wouldn't want to do another run. It seems like you enjoy games with a deeper tactical layer. Yeah, right. So the tactical layer here in this game isn't super deep. And I absolutely loved this game. It's not quite my normal... I don't know. I think this is a great game. I absolutely loved it, and I had a great time. And like, I would highly recommend it, and I'm very glad I played it. It's not exactly my cup of tea, truly, but that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy something just like this, you know? Sergi, could you imagine trying the game without stalling, just asking for yourself? The thought is gnawing at the back of your mind for your own runs. Now that I know how it works, no. And if I didn't know how it worked, I guess the answer is still no. Because if I'm at a decision point where I'm like, okay, my party's almost dead, and I'm trying to heal up at the end of this fight. Can I heal again? Like, can I heal with my Vestal here on this turn? Or do I have to attack so that the game doesn't punish me? If I don't have enough information to make that decision, like for me, like I don't know how to play that game because I don't feel like I have agency. Like I don't know, unless I don't know. What's next? I've got some plans. And yeah, 100-hour playtime great game versus 10,000-hour playtime great game. Absolutely. Apples and fruits. I think that Darkest Dungeon is a beautiful and wonderful 100-hour playtime great game. I don't, for me, see it as a 10,000-hour playtime great game. It doesn't enter the same realms as Battle Brothers, which is one of the very few single-player games that's been able to give me that amount of replayability. Most of those games that can give that level of enjoyment are versus another human. Chess, Go, Magic the Gathering, StarCraft, Dota. I'll even say League of Legends. Age of Empires 2, I'm sure. I haven't really played that. Not really, anyway. Etc. So there's different types of amount of time you can invest in something for it to be a great game. But yeah, it's really hard to compete with Battle Brothers. What if Stone Shard? Oh, I love Stone Shard. I think it's really good. What I'm thinking for the next thing that I do, I'm going to take a few days off here because I actually have, anyway, I don't like it when I don't like it when streamers do sympathy things, but our dog Susie is going to be going in for some, for a cardiac appointment tomorrow. So I might not stream for a few days. And that might also delay the Darkest Dungeon video. So anyway, I'm going to be away for a little bit anyway. But when I do return, I'm actually kind of thinking about playing Quasimorph. At least checking it out. Are we going to get a StarCraft ladder grind? Bjorn to kill? I've got a plan that I've been teasing in the back of my mind that I know will not be in the interest of the core audience that I have built up so far. That I kind of want to do anyway. So we'll see. And it's StarCraft related. I've got a StarCraft personal challenge that I'm thinking about executing. That again, I know is not to the interest of most people here, but you know. Anyway. But yeah, this was a really fun run. I really enjoyed the second Tri-State. Final Fantasy Tactics 1.3 playthrough. I mean, I could do that too. So one of the interesting things is, here's one of my conclusions from Darkest Dungeon that I'm going to talk about in the presentation. I really find this game charming. Loved it. Highly recommend it. But I do think that it is playing an old treasured game that people hold so dearly and asking them to kind of not talk about it sort of takes away from the streaming experience. So like when I say no spoilers, the tough thing is that means almost don't say anything. And at that point, the joy from streaming the game, that sort of collaborative spirit, you know, the thing that I've really gotten to enjoy from streaming Battle Brothers by taking suggestions from others, debating ideas, talking about strategies and stuff like that, is like gone, and that's one of the joys that I have got from streaming. So I actually think my conclusion, here's my hot take conclusion, I would have enjoyed this game more off stream. But I still enjoyed it. And I think any category of game that is like an old school game that people hold near and dear, that I want to get that first player experience from, just isn't going to be a suitable candidate to play on stream. So that's my sort of hot take. So new games that people don't know about much yet, like Quasimorph, I feel like I can just play, and then it's fine. A game where I feel like I have a deep established understanding and I want backseating and I want to hear feedback and ideas and et cetera, even if, as long as you accept that I just say no to your suggestions most of the time. Like Battle Brothers works really great. But yeah, I don't know. So that's I think that's my sort of hot take, my sort of conclusion from streaming this game, is that I don't think I want to play a game like this on stream anymore. I would rather just play this offline. But I still had a ton of fun. Absolutely had a ton of fun. What you can learn from this is Slurgi hates Darkest Dungeon? No. Have you ever watched Cogmind gameplay? I don't know what that is. A sci-fi roguelike. No? Did we win? We did. Stone Shard stream? I did one Stone Shard stream once. I could maybe play Stone Shard sometime, but I want to try out Quasimorph. So I think the next time I stream will probably be checking out Quasimorph. Which, fingers crossed, will actually be early next week. So, yeah. Stone Shard Permadeath is fun. It's the only way I've played it. So, I wouldn't know any other way. And I have cleared, at least a couple, like a year and a half ago, I cleared basically the whole game with a few different characters. So, anyway, I think that's a pretty good place for me to call it. That's enough rambling. That's enough rambling. This was a very fun game. I had a ton of fun. I don't know. I had a great time. I'm glad for those who joined. If you had fun watching the torture and joy of Darkest Dungeon, I thank you for joining me. This was great fun. So, that's where I'm going to call it for the evening. I will announce in the Discord, link just posted, when and what I will be doing next. My suspicion at the moment will be that I'm going to play Quasimorph, and it will be probably like maybe this upcoming weekend, but more realistically, probably like Monday or Tuesday next week. So that's going to be the plan. So to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Oh yeah, and in the Discord, if you have any more thoughts you want to just like share with me, just like spew up on the Discord. Make it a good one. Ta-ta.